Welcome back to What If Goku was in Vegeta's crew. I'm enjoying this series. I hope you're enjoying it too. Well, that being said, let's get to it. Hours after Frieza's death, and Vegeta and Kakarot both calmed down, back to their base form, not believing what just happened. Did they turn into the legend, and did they both do it? They're both confused, but overall, they wanted to bring back the ones they cared about. Vegeta wanted to bring back Nappa. In this timeline, he would actually care about him because of all the time they spent together trying to get rid of Frieza. And Kakarot cared about Raditz because Raditz always looked out for him, even if he was mean-spirited. Kakarot and Vegeta would both find a space pod and head off to Namek. There was rumors of wish orbs that can grant any wish. They didn't know if this was possible. They didn't know if these were just rumors, but it was the only thing they could follow up on. As they landed on Namek, Namekians surrounded them. Vegeta wanted to wipe them out and take the orbs, but Kakarot said no. Not because he cared about Namekians, but because doing it civil might be way easier. Besides, there might be a password or something. They don't know. And the Namekians could sense they had an evil heart, but they sensed their intentions, and seeing how strong they are, they decided to let them have the Dragon Balls. But eventually, they'll be sent to Grand Elder Guru, and Nail was ready to fight them. Guru said, "Stand down, Nail." Nail would say, "But they're evil, look at them." "Yes, but their intentions are pure. They want to bring back one of their friends. You believe them? I can sense it in their heart, Nail. And even if they are evil, the cruelest thing of all is to deny anyone friendship." Guru would then give Nail the Dragon Ball and say, "Hand it over." Nail would sigh, not agreeing with this, but hand the Dragon Ball over to Goku and Vegeta, as then they would use all of the Dragon Balls gathered to summon Purunga. As Purunga was summoned, Kakarot would use one wish to bring back Raditz, and the other to bring back Nappa. They could go back after them or wish for them to go here, but they can usually just fly over and get them. So instead, Vegeta would have an idea. Immortality would be boring, wouldn't it? A crutch just to not die? Kakarot would say, "Yeah, but what about eternal youth? We could stay young forever. And there'll still be excitement in battle because we could still die." Kakarot would smirk and say, "That's a great idea, Vegeta." As then they would wish for them all to have eternal youth. As then the dragon disappeared, they got onto their space pods and went back to the planet, getting a bigger spaceship. As it landed, Nappa and Raditz would walk in. As then, they would look at Vegeta and say, "What now?" Vegeta would say, "Now, we take over the galaxy once and for all." As that was going on, we cut to King Cold. It's been a few weeks since Frieza died, and Vegeta and his crew have taken over the galaxy. They've taken over what was left of the Frieza Force and rebuilt it into a militaristic empire, a horde based on nothing but conquest. Instead of conquering planets and selling it off, they just conquer and take it, and rely on taxes like a normal government. As King Cold was worried about his son, because if his son died, he could die too. He couldn't find any traces of him. He even went to the planet Yard Rat, but it was nothing but a wasteland. As he went back, he was confused. He didn't know what to do, but then he had an idea. As he would look at Sorbet, "Sorbet, bring me the Ginyu Force." Sorbet would nod. As the Ginyu Force came in, King Cold would say, "I'm sure you've heard about what happened to Frieza." Jace would say, "But if Frieza didn't stand a chance, what chance do we?" King Cold would smirk and say, "I agree, you wouldn't stand any chance in those bodies. However, if you had a new body, you could." "Captain Ginyu, was that rumor about your power true that Frieza told me?" Captain Ginyu would nod and say, "Yes, it is." King Cold would say, "Excellent. We're gonna have to use that power." Since Captain Ginyu was the only Frieza Force member to be able to hide his power level, they had a plan. King Cold would land on the capital of the Saiyans planet, which was Frieza's old capital. As the Saiyans came out, King Cold would walk out and say, "Where is he? Where is the Super Saiyan that killed my son?" Vegeta would look at him and say, "I killed your son, now I get to kill you." As he would walk up towards him slowly, King Cold would look down and say, "You think you can defeat me, Vegeta? A brat? No way you can be the legend. The legend must be someone else. A brat like you could never." But then Vegeta would turn Super Saiyan and say, "Shut up! I'm gonna kill you just like I killed your son." But then King Cole would laugh. Oh, Vegeta, sometimes brains beats brawn. I will admit, a legendary Super Saiyan did set my family back a bit. But we will rebuild and take over the galaxy once again, and the universe. Just as a minor setback, Vegeta would look at him and say, "What the hell are you talking about?" But then he heard a noise. As Captain Ginyu was hiding his power level and hiding nearby, he yelled, "Change now!" As suddenly, Captain Ginyu took Vegeta's body. As then he started to do poses. As he posed, the rest of the Saiyans looked confused. As Vegeta and Captain Ginyu's body would look and say, "That's not me!" Kakarot would then be bewildered. It seemed like Vegeta got his body stolen. He was going to have to fight a Super Saiyan and King Cold. As then Kakarot turned Super Saiyan, he walked in. King Cold said, "So there's multiple Super Saiyans. Interesting," he said, a bit nervous. Kakarot says, "Yeah, I'm the only other one, and this Super Saiyan will defeat you both." As then he charged at Captain Ginyu and Vegeta's body. But Captain Ginyu didn't know how to work his body, so he started to get beat up. Kakarot figured this out and exploited his weakness, hitting him at all of his pressure points. However, he couldn't kill him. Well, he could, but then Vegeta wouldn't get his body back. He had to play things nice. As that fight was going on, King Cole would walk up to Vegeta and Ginyu's body and look at him. "I think it's time I get my revenge." As he started to charge up a death beam, Vegeta couldn't do much since he didn't know how to work this body at all. But then Nappa would punch him, sending him flying back, saying, "You don't kill him." Rats would get involved too. As they both started to fight and hold King Cold off, but Kakarot looked down, wanted to get involved. But as he flew down to get involved, Captain Ginyu would fly in front of him saying, "Where do you think you're going?" Kakarot would say, "You really think you hadn't had enough? I mean, look at you. Look how beat up you are." Captain Ginyu would laugh and say, "I am the mighty Captain Ginyu. You stand no chance against me." Kakarot would look at him and say, "You've lost. No, you lost," Captain Ginyu would say, smirking. As he looked at Kakarot, even though he was bleeding and beat up, he still knew what to do, and he still had a plan to get rid of him. As then King Cole would say, "Destroy Raditz and Nappa so I can get my revenge. Hurry up and kill them." He would look at King Cold and say, "I'm sorry, King Cold, but I don't take orders from you anymore." King Cold would say, "What? The Ginyu Force will now rule the universe." As then, Captain Ginyu blew him up. As Vegeta said in Ginyu's body, "Well, I encourage the man's spirit, although I wish he was on our side." As then, Captain Ginyu continued to laugh as Kakarot continued to pummel him again and again and again and again and again. Captain Ginyu looked at him and said, "You're not going to kill me because you need me to change bodies so you can get Vegeta's body back. Well, guess what? I am the one who's going to be victorious. I am the one who's going to rule this universe. And I am the one who will control everything." As Kakarot said, "Shut up and switch bodies. I'll even spare you." Kakarot would laugh and say, "That's a lie. Super Saiyans are ruthless. They're heartless beings of pure power and energy. They wouldn't spare anything. And that's why I won't spare you." Suddenly, he would nod his head as Sorbet would shoot Kakarot straight in the legs, causing him to fall down. As Sorbet has been hiding around, since he had a low power level, no one could spot him. Captain Ginyu would then begin to laugh as Nappa and Rats would look at each other. They knew Captain Ginyu couldn't keep this up forever. That form Super Saiyan drains stamina because they're not used to it. However, could they hold him off long enough? They just didn't know. He was charging a ki blast as he looked straight down at Kakarot. Captain Ginyu laughed and said, "You are a great warrior, but I was better. The great and mighty Captain Ginyu. It's time that I rule this universe." Suddenly, Nappa and Rats would both punch Captain Ginyu, send him flying, but it didn't do any damage. He simply got up and they continued the fight. They tried to draw out the fight as long as possible, but Captain Ginyu began to brutalize them, beat them up, break their bones. Vegeta and Captain Ginyu's body would fly in and punch him, but he wouldn't be able to do much. As Captain Ginyu began to laugh, he was about to kill them all, but just then, he turned back to his base form and fell down. As suddenly, his stamina ran out. He got back up, barely able to walk, breathing heavily. Vegeta would laugh and say, "Your body wasn't used to the transformation." Captain Ginyu would say, "Shut up," as he would try to take someone's body. He would look around for a body to take, but he couldn't find any. He can barely move and he can barely breathe. So he would say, "Change now," and take back his old body. But as he did that, everyone was severely injured and couldn't really do much. So him and Sorbet simply just left. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video so far down below. I'm really enjoying this series, and I hope you're enjoying it too. With all that being said, love you all, and happy birthday. Peace out.